Good evening. I would like to introduce you Gabriel Soucheyre, the director of Media International Festival VIDEOFORMES from the city Clermont-Ferrand in France. Gabriel also editor of journal about magazine about video art and Turbulence video, and he is producer a lot of projects connect with video and media, and also film videos himself. And I would like to ask Gabriel to say some words about his festival and about the magazine. And main point that interesting to say that that festival is really old. It's 40 years now. It started in 1985. So,
86.
Yeah.
The first festival was in 1986, in the time where video art was not so much known and expanded. So in those days, we all knew each other, curators, festival directors, artists, all around the world. So that's why we started with this name, video form, which means forms that video can produce not only films, but also installations, performances, and later on many other forms. Historically, we started also a magazine because there was a lack of information and criticism about this so-called new art, and that's how we started the Turbulence video, which means Turbulence, if you understand, and video, of course, you understand. The most important thing about this magazine is that there is always a portrait artist, which means that I have myself an interview with an artist where I ask him to speak about his or her childhood. I'm a very curious person, so I want to know, how do you become an artist? Every artist has his or her own story, and then this portrait is completed with not standard, but paper works about his or her works, and a complete biography, and also, after some time, we added a video portrait also, where the artist speaks about one of his or her works. And this magazine is free. You can download it from our website. Most of it is in French. But more and more, thanks to AI and translators also, we produce in both languages, French and English. Do you want me to say more?
Yes. Could you please describe the primary focus of VIDEOFORMES Festival? What is most important for this festival, and what type of artistic work typically showcase here?
In the beginning, or
No.
Yeah. Well, from the beginning, we considered ourselves as an observatory, so we were looking for works which expressed things in a different way. Means not fiction can be shown in our festival, but it has to be expressed differently. Documentary, performing arts, everything should be linked to new technology and new forms. We want to attract, because we live in a small city in the center of France, we want to offer our audience renowned artists, mature artists, and also, I don't like to call them young artists, but emerging artists. So there's a balance in between people who are a lot like Bill Viola, Nathan Peck in the beginnings, Gabriel, lots of people like this, and young artists. Some of them have become well-established artists also, and that's also something we are proud of. I think we count 3 or 4 Caesars in our list of young artists who are celebrated elsewhere. As I said, all the forums are interesting for us, and when computers, personal computers and internet arrived, it was a kind of explosion. The web 2.0 even more, so it was even more difficult for us to really find and look for interesting and relevant artists, but this was also very exciting for us. What I was going to say about this? Yes, we have. I was also a teacher at university, so with my students we worked on organizing, and we still do it, professional meetings where we discuss either topics or we introduce artists, we introduce curators of film festival directors, like for example, we invited Rika when she was running her own festival in St. Petersburg. She could introduce her work, a selection of artists, and then there's a panel, a very short panel discussion on very long things between the festival director or curators and the artist on a common topic. This is very important for other festivals to be known in our country. It is also very important for the artist to have another critical point of view on his or her work. And we have 4 days in the festival where we showcase performances, live performances, VR, although we don't think VR is so interesting, exceptionally interesting, sorry, this VR in this festival. But we are very much interested in augmented reality and things like that. And we are always eager and curious about new forms. Did I answer properly for you?
Yes, absolutely. And which way you support artists?
Which way?
To produce something, I
Or
mean, residences, or what activities you have for artists who would like to involve in this media sphere?
Of course, our organization is a non-profit organization. The main objective is this festival every year. And so we're preparing the 40th festival for next year. But at the same time, we, as you know, produce this magazine, but also we have a program of residencies. We benefit from a very interesting place, an old chapel in the city, where we invite artists from all countries to come and experiment in this place. Sometimes we are very good funding, and sometimes we are not, but we find always ways to go along and share our knowledge as curators with younger artists. And this is very exciting. Most of the time, there is a meeting at the end of the residency. We open the place to the public for 1 hour and a half exactly, and we show what has been done during the residency. Even if the production isn't finished, whatever it is, performance, installation, whatever, we have this moment where the public can question the artist. And this is very important for the artist to have already a feedback. We also have lots of things for on a territory, not the whole front. Okay? A territory of about 2 million people. We go into schools, we go into secondary schools, and we work with the University and Fine Arts Academy also to produce works in the schools and to have a change and introduce artists and our artists to those schools. On our website, there's an English version which is not totally completed, but you will find everything about this. And also, we are in the festival, we invite other organizations, like this year we invited silent. So silent people came. We showed an installation by my artist proposed by Silent, and you know her because she's in this program, Alexandra Dementira. And in return, I was invited to showcase an installation by Regina Ebner, and also the presentation of 4 artists, video artists, and the streaming will be held on Monday, I think.
Nice, Gabriel. What I would like to say about the magazine, that is also very interesting that you mix publications about classical artists and the artists that start their activities on video from 1960, like and later, like pioneers of video art, like Bill Wall, Gary Hill, Peter Weibel, and the new artists. And how you chose the artists for the publications, what is isn't it's important for you to have this mix of generation?
It is absolutely very important, yes, because during the festival so many things happen during an event like this, and younger artists meet other artists, and there are always things which happen, which I cannot control, of course, I don't want to control at all, but there are collaborations that start there, and that is very important also for young audiences to meet those artists. How do I choose artists? As you may have understood that we work on a very low economic budget, so when I know that an artist will be scheduled in the festival, I invited him or her to be a portrait artist in the next issue. For example, at the moment, we are preparing the next festival, and we invited a young artist, a very promising artist, to be the portrait artist. So the interviews have been made, have been written, and it will be issued next January. Among other artists, we have only open calls for videos because it's too difficult for us to do in a different way. We try to answer every message we get. So if we make an open call for installations or performances, we will not be able to do it. So it's when I travel a lot, when I meet people, I invite them, or some people just write to me and I select them or not, but this is the contact that we have.
I also know that the festival has the program for different institutions and academies and like schools preparing education at different level, and they can participate it, and you see the new trends and the new what could happen, and you comment. It's like a special event on the festival that school can apply for the festival.
That's right, that's very important. We have this section called Video Art Academies, where we get videos from finance schools or higher education universities, sent. We select 20 minutes per school, and we show them, get them from all around the world. And I know that this institute produces work, so I advise them to send some videos. And also, the work we do with secondary schools or primary schools is very important to us, because we help those schools to create projects, installations, and these installations are shown are part of the exhibition. And we've been doing this, and we are so proud of it, because the production is so good that some people, when they discover this, they think they are production by finance students, but no. The creators were school kids from between 11 and 15 years old. So it's very, it's very important for us.
And what I would like to say that Also, for this festival, you produced the special program, which the name is Voyage, and selected several artists for video program. And what was your choice? Why you chose this artist for the selection? And say some words about it.
Yes. Well, I reacted on your topic, which is archive of feelings. Archives makes me think of memories, so that's one angle. And feelings was the other angle. For example, when I proposed Loving by Regina Ebner, it was, are you sure the song's still working? Okay. I thought about the feelings, and it's a very open installation where the public can really feel something and even participate, really discover this. And the four other artists I chose two artists who are quite renowned now, and two younger artists, the same as in the festival. The same, it was about memories or utopias. For example, Francesca Fini works at the moment about, she describes a future with robots, and this utopia that with robots, humans will have no worries to have anymore. I think this is an old song that we heard before, but with AI and those things which are the topics of the year, let's say, we can imagine that she's right, but she's exploring this kind of thing, and in a very precise way, very interesting way. The second is about Ursula San Cristobal. And I will ask you to read their portraits. It's number 110 and 120, because they speak about their early life, and especially Ursula, she had problems in communicating with words. And it took her a long time because she grew up in Chile just after the dictatorship, but in the same mood of the dictatorship times. She couldn't express herself, and she didn't know who she was, in fact. And it took her a long process until she knew, and it all went through, as you can see in the picture now, it went all through music and performances. And she lives in her video about memories and reality. Where is reality? Are memories real, or are they going to just disappear? And the two other works are about this thing, memory. How do you remember people? How do you reconstruct them? And where is the reality? And this is something which is a very important issue for everyone, not only artists. Who are you? Who are we? And who are we not?
Je suis une artiste multimédia basée à Barcelone. Je m'occupe principalement de l'art vidéo. J'essaie de concilier la pensée conceptuelle de la philosophie et la littérature avec la matérialité de la pratique artistique. Et c'est pour ça que je travaille toujours avec des matériaux très sensoriels, comme le tissage ou la calligraphie. Et je cherche de les combiner à des pratiques numériques comme l'animation et l'édition audiovisuelle. Et en faisant comme ça, je cherche de concilier la pensée conceptuelle avec la sensorialité du corps. La pièce s'appelle Tejer un cuerpo, tisser un corps. Et il s'agit d'une installation projetée sur une surface tissée à la main. Le projet surgit de deux questions. La première, c'est comment imaginer le propre corps au-delà, en dehors de patriarcat, Et la deuxième, c'est qu'est-ce que se passe si on essaye de tisser le propre corps. J'ai pensé à le tissage comme une métaphore de la construction de soi-même, de le propre corps, parce qu'il s'agit d'une pratique qui évoque la tactilité, mais aussi l'idée de transformation, que c'est très important dans ces projets.
This work was produced by VIDEOFORMES, and yes, you have to read the thing because I don't want to speak too much about the videos because I will give you my view and you have to make your own estimation.
So, what I'm thinking about interesting Ursula Cristobal works that she combined different layers and that she used knots. And this combination is very interesting that she used different mediums. I mean, she used in your practice scripts, music, performance, and performative gest, and we can maybe call this artist like intermedia artist. And what do you think about the terminology of this, the term? I mean, when we try to classify the new media art, sometimes it had happened that we hear about media art, sometimes it's like intermedia art. What do you think about that classification in video and media?
I don't like classifications. I'm rather interested in the individual, and Ursula, she, as I said, she grew up, she built herself like every one of you. We have a very singular way to construct ourselves. She was impressed, for example, by the only thing she could relate her to art in her early childhood was her grandmother, who was reading all the time. And as she said, this was the way to transform things, and it's a kind of metaphor she applied to herself. And when she could go to a school where there were 3 courses for music, she started with music, and it's a long story that I really want you to read first before the screen. And this commission work for visual called Weaving a Body explains a lot about her voyage in her life. Just mention about, we call ourselves not any longer a video art festival, but a hybrid art festival, digital of course, because all the traditional art forms have been corrupted in a way by digital tools. So that's why in France it's a very strong stream of thinking that almost all works are hybrid now.
And also, I would like to say about the sense of different works in your program. But when we saw the works of Ursula, sometimes we think about melancholy and melancholia.
Melancholy, yes.
And I read the article, and Julia Christoph is mentioned her description about the melancholic. Do you especially choose different works with this sense, or you do not agree with me? Maybe you have another sense. I don't know. For me, it's a question. Is it a question? Is it a sense of time or of nowadays, or what it means? Can you feel something? and maybe
Maybe there's a red line between the four words that when you think about memories, erasing memories, or projecting yourself into the future, you think of something of the things which are going to disappear, and that's where melancholy maybe starts. This is maybe a red line between the four works.
And in this sense, I would like to return to Francesco Fini's work. And for me, it's now interesting that she used a lot of artificial intelligence and neural networks for combine to montage her work, just like extracts from different films and then transform them. And in this case, I saw that trends nowadays that artists try to use this artificial intelligence. And what we say about authorship in this case, about who is the artist, how we can explain that, and what is the influence, how you can comment this, because I know that you participated in a lot of discussions in this term, and in Paris, for example, you said before, it was a huge discussion about artificial intelligence.
Well, this is the topic. First of all, my personal feeling about this thing is that doesn't exist. Intelligence cannot be artificial. I will call someone, but I forgot his name, but what we call artificial intelligence is as stupid as a stone, but as powerful as an avalanche, if you understand what I mean. It is a tool which is very, very powerful, but if we humans don't feel that tool, it's no use. So the question of rights, well, this has been a question for years, because we all repeat things, so who's the owner of the idea or the form? So I was in a discussion last week about this young woman. She found photography in a free market, and she used it with an AI, and she was wondering if she could use it or not. And I said, of course you can use it. And then there was a lawyer in the audience, he only was judging me and saying, it's impossible. There's always a right. Yes, there's always a right. You can attach a right to a piece of art. But in reality, how? In reality, maybe 70% of the rights are ignored. Maybe more. And she admitted, this lawyer, she admitted that. So, who does it belong to? I don't know. In fact, in my mind, it should belong to the person who uses the AI and who writes the prompt. But you can ask also an AI to write prompts for you. So, it's a never-ending story.
I know that some artists just broken these rules. They thought that it's okay to use the old films, for example. And it's like a position of some artists. They make like open source of their videos outside.
Yes, I heard about those musicians that they used to compose every kind of melody, and they decided they would give the right to anyone. So in fact, nobody can be accused of doing a copy. So there's no right anymore. This is not a new question, because you all know about copyrights, but there was this movement like 20 years ago I heard about copyleft. It means you put the copyright on the other side and then you give the copyright. In France, if you are an author, I don't know about other countries, this is something that is stuck to you. You cannot nobody can take it from you. But as you know, some people did some political things using music from other artists who complained they shouldn't use it, but they kept using it. So this is why, where's the right when it is ignored by people? And you've also Creative Commons rights. That means you can decide, for example, that your work can be used if no commercial deal is made with, or can be used. You can be changed or not changed, depends on the copyright, the Commons, Creative Commons license you have. But theoretically, it shouldn't work in France because you cannot lose your right. Or you can sign, of course, an agreement that you give the rights to someone to use your music or your images. Or your code also, because code is copyrighted also.
Gabriel, you have a huge experience in different layers of video and media, and can you comment, do you notice something, new trends or new tendencies which have happened in the last maybe 2 years? Maybe some ideas about that, maybe some from auditory can say this. Well, I understand that it's a very, very huge question.
I don't think I understand, and I can tell you about the future. But what I see is that not about the topics. In the moment, the world is experimenting lots of changes, and these changes are forcing most of the time by artists. That's why I think art is very important. Art can be also provide solutions. But the moment is climate changes, dictatorship is a thing, because very young people are looking for a very strong government who would impose not right-wing, right-wing things, but something about nature, environment, and this is really a major problem, a major topic.
Okay, we would like to ask maybe some questions from auditorium because we need to a little bit come to the end. So, do you have questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We are here in I'm just trying to contextualize a little bit our practices. We are in a place where this is a residency program, among other things. And I'm very interested, I run a residency program too, myself, in Italy, and I think it's very important for us to share our methodology. So I'm more interested in your residency program, and if you can elaborate on that, if you can tell us how the selection process happens, and how, what you provide to the artists, if production is included, if hospitality is included, and what else? And what are the artists required to do in exchange?
First of all, in France, we like classifications. We are stuck to fine arts. On top, you have live performances, music, dance, etc. And at the bottom, we are there at the bottom. That's where we have the lowest funding possible. But we pretend we can do things. And for example, for the exhibitions, when we invite an installation, for example, we give symbolically some money to the artist. We started this a long time ago, before the Ministry of Culture started thinking about it and asking us to try and give some money to the artist. Not to give it, but to try and give some money. The same thing when we invite professionals like jury members, we give symbolically something. because we think it's a work, it's a job which is done. When in a festival, we pay a lot of people, we pay builders, production managers, and things like that. They are not super well paid, but they are paid. And the artists are the last in the list, of course, all the time. But we try to. The second thing is when we produce a work or co-produce a work, there's always a line and a fee, a good fee for the artist, as much as we can. For example, if we're going on to a production very soon, it's 25,000 euros, which is not much considering the work which is to be done, but the artists will get at least 5,000, which is 25%. No, 20%, sorry. Things like that. When we have residencies, we used to have, because it was broken last year by the decision of the government, we gave something like 7,500 euros for a 7-week residency, research residency. We have no production involved. There could be a production, but there was not the topic at that time. We wanted to give the artist time away from home and daily life to think and research. And we did that in a very special condition. We hosted them in schools, so they had their proper room, their proper place to work, and we asked them to spend 10 hours a week with the community, the school, the pupils, but not only the pupils, teachers, even sometimes with the villagers. So that was very good, but we just thought that we are a bit stubborn, so we'll try and find other solutions. With private partners, for example, we produced 6 installations over 3 years, and the artists got money for production and got money for fees. We always insist on that, because this is a common thinking that artists shouldn't be paid. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, because I cannot hear very well with this.
Thank you, Gabriel. The last question, because we need to change our theme, the next. If somebody would like to have questions? No? So.
I have three, I have more than one.
Very short.
Yeah. The Silent has one of the biggest video archive run by I.C.A, accessible to the public. So I'm just wondering if you have an accessible archive, YouTube, VIDEOFORMES.
Do you have accessible archive, VIDEOFORMES?
We have an archive. We were very naive in the beginning, because we couldn't afford to pay the rights to keep the works by the artists. And then we started talking with the artists. They said, but we would be very pleased that you keep our works in your archives. So we have an archive, and every year this archive grows. We don't pay any rights. We don't have any rights. But this archive is very partly accessible online. We don't have the money to pay someone to take care of that, and it's a real pity. But people who want to come and stay with us, they have full access to everything. For example, there's an Italian doing research work, and she decided to make this on our archive. She had access to everything from the 80s up to now, and it's very interesting that we're looking forward to seeing what she will do with it. And but we have no rights, as I said. When I'm asked to curate a program, of course, this is very useful for me. I check what I could put in my program. I call the artist, and I tell them the conditions, they agree or not. and if they agree, I present their work. This is the case for the 4 videos we are going to show here, for example. But there will be no fee this time, no for them, no for me.
Thank you, Gabriel. Unfortunately, our time is ended, and we would like to invite for preparation next participant. Thank you so much.